Last year, I knocked out 40 kilometers on average a day as I went all guns blazing towards that mystical sub-210 marathon barrier. Every day consisted of 2 to 3 running sessions, and the 20+ hour training weeks were stacking up as my fitness reached new heights. After securing a squad of elite Japanese marathoners to train with, it became less a matter of if I'd run under 210, but surely just a matter of when. Until a crippling hip imbalance shattered that dream and I went from all to nothing. So I've just touched down in Busan, where the disappear to Korea journey continues. Man, it is nice out here. You know what, I might have to put the shades on. Woo! Tropical holiday vibes right now, but I've got some training to do. I can't forget about the running completely, although I'm sure there will be plenty more Scran to Korea samples to try. I'm hoping though this is the start of my running comeback, because man, it's been a brutal couple months. You can almost say half a year this back problem has been ongoing. It's definitely tested me mentally and physically. But that's all part of the Marathon Monk journey, and we'll be chatting about that today. In this episode, I'll also be kickstarting the comeback with my return to sessions. We'll get a benchmark of my fitness to see how far I've fallen off that 209 marathon goal of mine. So I don't think I ever properly explained the extent of this injury, because at its worst, it was properly bad. This was probably 6 weeks back. That was the last time I actually did a session. And after that session, I knew I was in trouble. I just about managed to hobble back to my house. But then after that, I was practically paralyzed. I could genuinely not even walk at the time. And I was like, yeah, this might be slightly more serious than I thought. I managed to just about crawl to my car, and even just pressing the pedals, like any tiny movement of my foot, it was like any time I put weight on, the pressure going through here in the SI joint, man, it was crazy. I can't even describe how bad it was. So I managed to just about get over to the hospital and immediately managed to see a doctor. I had an MRI done, x-rays done, whole load of consultations and chats and everything. And luckily I'm in probably the best country in the world for healthcare. If it had been in the UK, I'd still be waiting now for the results of those tests. But within 3 hours, I managed to go through this whole process, pay about £5 in hospital fees, and get all the results back, clear up anything like a stress fracture or any other problems. So then I've been on this rebuild since then, the recovery process. And I think it's time to find out the damage. Really, how bad is my current shape? Just before I ran to Busan, I knocked out a monster comeback sesh in Seoul. This is the moment of truth. What shape am I actually in? I feel like I should have brought my carbon shoes. I forgot to bring them, but I'm gonna need every bit of help I can get. Luckily though, I have brought my pre-race performance. That's the Runovitz combo of caffeine and L-citrulline. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna need that extra energy, endurance, because I think 4-minute Ks, sounding like an intimidating challenge right now. It's going to be a proper race effort, so shout out to Runovitz for the help. This is me psyching myself up for battle. Come on, we can do it. Oh baby, let's go deliver the goods. But this is the Han River, and I think it's a classic running spot. I've already seen a ton of runners just out here, and I've got a cheeky 16k progression on the card, hitting some dirty paces, starting off at maybe 4:30, and we'll get down to hopefully about 4 at the end. So just to clarify, we're talking 4:30 per kilometre, not per mile. My old easy run pace has now become a race effort, but at least the vibes are high at the start, and I love a good exploration run in new places. So in terms of access to actual running and exercise facilities, it seems perfect in Korea. It took me literally 10 minutes from the centre where my hotel was at to get the train out here, and bang, I'm on an unbroken loop, pounding the pavement. Oh, they just keep outdoing themselves. I've just hopped onto a little trail here, so we literally have every option covered. The softer surfaces off-road, as well as the harder pavement there if you want to knock out your intervals, your harder reps. And speaking of harder sessions, this one took a serious turn in the second half. So much, in fact, that the act of switching my camera on was even too tough, as my heart rate soared to a dangerous 170 BPM by the end, as I touched low 4-minute Ks. Now, I'm not one for data, but a similar heart rate 2 months ago would have had me cruising along at 320 per K. Absolutely no problem, so it's fair to say this was a shock to the system.
Oh, now you might have noticed that the commentary in the second half of that run just completely disappeared. The camera didn't come out. For some reason, that part was missing. Well, it's because I couldn't actually speak. I was so bloody tired there. That was a full-on, flat-out effort, progressive run down from 4:30 a K to a lightning quick 4 flat by the end. But man, that nearly finished me off. And it's unbelievable to think that puts me in about 3-hour marathon shape. I think if I was to race a flat out marathon now, I probably wouldn't get round the distance, but let's say I could just about slog it out. I think I could maybe squeeze under 3 hours, but I might be optimistic. There is a long, long way to go. But the main thing is my back is improving slowly.
But the same couldn't be said for the rest of my body during the aftermath. I'm not joking. Today, I'm in absolute pieces. It's the day after, and the DOMs right now, it's like I've just ran a marathon. Everything is in pain. The hammies, the quads, the calves, my back. The muscle fatigue is an absolute joke. Just from having, I guess, 5 weeks maybe of doing nothing at all. The body just stiffens up so much. And that is the first sign of just the, not even fitness loss, but just the mechanical issues you have after a break like that. Going from absolutely smashing the training to suddenly doing nothing, it hits the body hard. So before we crack on with some training, I think some active recovery is in order, as we see what South Korea's coastal city of Busan has to offer. So it's the first proper day in Busan today. I thought I'd sign up for one of those classic get your guide tours. It's always a good way to see the city. So we've got a local guide showing us around. We've got a bit of free time now, so I'm just exploring around this temple here. And I'm gonna have to hit every shrine around these temples and pray to the marathon gods for forgiveness. I've been slacking on those 40k days this year, and it's no surprise they've punished me with back problems as a result. The safest way I've found to stay injury-free is to knock out daily monster mileage. But the hardest part is getting back to that level where my body is in this state of limbo. Now, I had some people asking, like, oh, how do you lose fitness so quickly? How do you go from a 2:14 marathoner to a 3-hour one? It was pretty clear, the fitter you are, obviously, the quicker you can lose fitness, and vice versa, it comes back just as quickly. But for me, yeah, it hits like an absolute train, just because you're going from such high volume to such an other extreme. It's a bit like if you're running, a couple times a week, doing your little 5Ks, 10Ks, that kind of thing, then it's not going to be a massive difference if you had a few weeks off doing nothing. But for me, I just find the change is brutal. The only way I managed to get to this point, to run a 2:14, was from pretty much 2 years of unbroken training, like 30k every day on average. But then for the last 6 months, because of the back thing getting progressively worse and worse, it's meant it's easily been my worst block of training. So unsurprisingly, I'm in the worst shape I've probably ever been. So I guess the one positive of running less at the moment, not being on the double, triple days, I can actually do a bit more traveling. Like recently, I went to Okinawa and obviously Korea now. There's no way I'd do that usually if I was locked into the training. So I've been trying to make the most of it, take this opportunity to actually travel a bit more, explore around Asia. But to be honest, for me, my absolute favourite form of travelling is for racing. The ideal trip would be go smash a race, some kind of half marathon, and then you do a little bit of exploring afterwards. You got to earn the travel first. That's obviously what I've done all across Japan, all the different races. But it doesn't mean on a trip like this, I don't have to schedule everything around my double day, or I've got to get out for the evening run again, get up at 5, whatever, to smash out the morning training. I can take it slightly more chill, slightly more relaxed. So I guess it's not bad for a change. And the biggest plus is that I'm able to sample a whole new range of delicacies, since food and recovery do go hand in hand. So I came across this little market here. Busan is known for its seafood, so I tried to pick up some seafood delicacies. We've got the fried squid and mixed veg. Looks dangerously hot this time. I'm seeing a red sauce, and in Korea, that could be fatal. I've got an audience as well now as well. 감사합니다. Got some spectators here. Hot. Oh. Oh, 맛있어요. 맛있어요. Spicy. Little. Oh, the manju's good as well. Got a full live audience now as I eat. The pressure's on. This one's got a little bit of spice in, but yeah, it's good that. So that was the flat manju and the squid, solid. We then got prawns with, again, a mystery, maybe sweet chili sauce. In Korea though, the food is hot. Anything red is just dangerous territory. I had tteokbokki the other day. It's like this gnocchi type stuff with this red hot sauce. And man, it was nearly fatal. By the end of it, I was dripping in sweat. Oh, it's next level. I am not built for it.
As I go, this one's safe. It's more of a sweet garlic butter sauce. Yeah, there we go. I'm never know if I'm meant to eat the tails. Bit of extra crunchy goodness. And this one looks fatal, but actually it's not too bad. Maybe it's aimed for the tourists there. I saw they had a Running Man sign though on the stall, so you know what, I couldn't say no to that. But this trip out here to Korea was very spontaneous. I literally booked the flight, I think 2 days before I actually traveled. Didn't have any of the hotels, plans, nothing sorted. But the reason was, I was just so bored up in Yamagata. And I think the timing of moving up there from Tokyo was the worst possible. Obviously, I was so gassed to be able to join this team, and finally I had these training partners who would help pull me along, finally bring me up to that sub 210 level. And then it's like, oh, bang, the back goes, and I've barely been able to train with them at all. And it's like being up there in the countryside in Yamagata, it's great when you're training. I reckon it's the perfect environment for that. But when you're injured and you can't do a lot, then yeah, there's not exactly much to do. It's quite nice, off the beaten path. Yeah, this is pretty cool. This is a little taste of Yamagata, the rural, remote vibe, suddenly escape off from the mad tourist area. Because in Yamagata, even just finding a cafe to do a bit of YouTube editing in is a struggle. In fact, it's so remote, the park where the boys train at, that one park where people go, has just been shut down at the moment because there's been bears sighted around there. So we're properly in the thick of it up there in the mountains. The wildlife is taking over. But yeah, I think living up there is going to be quality once I properly get back to running. It's just a bit rough that when I did actually move out of Tokyo was when this back thing kicked in. And it's not been the smoothest start to my rural Japanese life. So I'm trying to make the most of this trip, especially being in a buzzing city like this. And an essential in Busan was to find a place where the World Cup was being shown. I cannot be missing any of the action, and luckily came across this absolute gem, the Celtic Dragon. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, those Irish pubs always deliver. And this one even had a shrine dedicated to the mighty Arsenal. Unreal stuff, and despite it being 5 AM on a random weekday in Korea, a few of us England faithfuls, as well as some local legends, gathered to watch the Three Lions' dominant destruction of Croatia, which just confirmed that it is for certain coming home. Actually, leave a comment on this video who you're supporting at this tournament. I want to see as many flags in that comment section as possible. And you know, while you're at it, hit that subscribe button to not miss any of the action to come. Now, other than the classic Korean culture of Irish pubs, what other spots are popping in Busan? Well, we stopped off at this colourful Kamcheon village during the city tour, and there was only one thing on my mind. So I'm in this cultural market street area, and I know no better culture than this. The Korean bakery is calling my name. Let's have a look what sweet treats they've got inside. I never thought I'd see the day. I've just walked out of a bakery without buying anything. Call me sick in the head, I know, crazy. But I had a little wander around and I just thought, this is mid. I think it's a classic tourist spot. I'm gonna go wander a little bit further on, see if we can find some better looking treats, because there's some ridiculous pastries around here. And I'm not sure that one is up to my prestigiously high standards. Okay, can I have any more luck up there? Maybe off the beaten track, I've spotted. What is that right there? Bakery Cafe, go on then, let's give it a go. This is just a little top up. We had that big seafood lunch, but you know, in between lunch and dinner, you always need that snack. It's impossible to make it the whole way through the day. I find around this time, it's when the cravings kick in. But alas, the journey continues. They basically sold out of everything there. I guess we've come a little bit too late. But back in Kwanggari Beach, where I was staying, there was some outrageously good bakeries and cafes that I've been sampling over the last few days. It's blasphemous to say, but I think Japan might be beat on this front. One thing I hadn't managed to try yet though was the Korean staple of summer, sweet shaved ice. But first, we've got to earn that. Right, my good fortune with weather is finally broken. We've got a British-like day out here. Nice and cloudy, drizzly. I'm actually running down to meet a subscriber who lives down here in Busan. So that'll be pretty good. Get the local insights into the running scene here. And hopefully get a nice little seaside run in. So there's some very solid running options in Busan, and it's quality getting shown around by Chris and Uthman here. I always post on Insta and Strava when I'm in a new city, so if you happen to live there, then hit me up and there's a good chance I'll be up for a run. But now for some well-deserved post-run scran. Getting the Korean ice in with the locals, they're showing me the spots, let's go. Oh, now we're talking.
So Japan actually has a version of shaved ice called kakigori, but I've always thought it's massively overrated. It's just simply ice with flavoured syrup mixed in. But you've got to give it to the Koreans. They know how to spice it up. And this bingsu was a contender for #1 Scran of Busan.
I am a food influencer now. Half my Korean videos have just been food stuff. The Korean Scran. All right, first taste of bingsu. Beautiful stuff. Is it cornflakes they got on top? I like that little crunch. That's good, actually. Oh, it's way more ice creamy than ice.
There's ice cream on top below you.
Oh, that's the shaved ice. This is chaos. Very good, that.
So fresh melon slices and honeycomb chunks atop a mountain of ice cream and refreshing icy goodness.
Of sugar, we're going what? A bit of,
So
what is it,
this
condensed milk?
This is, it's just condensed milk. Just gets soaked in, and then you just scoop it up.
And this bingsu is the gift that keeps on giving.
Another surprise just come across. Maybe it's a little sorbet bit on the bottom. Yeah, this is certified. Scran to Korea certified.
So it's good to know my food blogger career is still looking strong if this running thing doesn't work out. Now, I still can't quite believe that my job is full-time runner and YouTuber. Like, for me, it doesn't get better than that. So I guess it's thanks to you guys for watching these videos, you absolute legends. I can't believe even out here in Busan, I've been recognized plenty of times by the Ran to Japan army. It doesn't matter where I go, people always seem to be watching. No way, man. I was literally just filming a little. But the issue with this kind of lifestyle, I guess, is when you can't run. Everything in my daily routine is built around that. Like when I'm training multiple times a day, and then in between that, I'm working on videos, the YouTube, the editing, planning stuff. Everything though comes back to the running. So when I can't do that, everything else suffers. Like trying to make videos for YouTube hasn't been the easiest over the last few months. Like when you're banging out the races, it's no problem. You know those videos are gonna absolutely smash. 100K, 200K views, absolutely no problem, no effort whatsoever. But to be honest, it's not about the views and everything. It doesn't really matter for me. It's more about the enjoyment of actually making the videos. It's just so much more fun when I've actually got something to aim towards. I've got the Sub 210 project and everything's all guns blazing towards that. The thing with YouTube, don't get me wrong, it's cool. Like I love it, seeing the numbers and the growth and all of that and all the comments. It's sick seeing everyone engage with it, but it's not really my passion. It's not why I started it at all. I purely started YouTube to support my running so I could live this life as a full-time runner. So all those numbers are meaningless if I can't actually run, if I can't smash the times and go all in on running. The YouTube is completely irrelevant. Like hitting 100K subs, unbelievable. Like you guys are heroes for getting me to that point. But the feeling of smashing a crispy brand new PB, oh, it's just on another level. You cannot beat it. And I guess that's why it'll be even more satisfying when that sub 210 barrier gets demolished. And it ties back to that video I made recently about running being a failing sport. Without access and relatability, the pro running scene will never be able to grow and match the booming amateur participation numbers. It's all just part of the storyline, eh? That's the great thing about YouTube. You can showcase the ups and the downs. While a lot of pro runners just go and hide away, they disappear for months and months when they're injured. I think it's so much better when you actually show the journey and what it's really like to be a runner and go all in on it. Because it isn't some fairy tale magical story where you can just continuously improve race on race on race. There's gonna be little bumps in the road. And for me, I had 4 years off as a teenager with this surgery. Like I've still got the scar there to show. And so luckily, no time off will ever even come close to that. 6 months off? Yeah, I can deal with that. I can come back from that. It's nothing but a speed bump. So it's just all about that marathon monk mentality. During the old back saga, I basically just tried to turn the recovery into my full-time job. I've replaced all the training with instead the daily stretching, exercises, rehab, strength and conditioning, all that good stuff that then can hopefully get me back even stronger, even more durable as a powerful unit. I've also obviously smashed the biking out, which I hate every second of. I can't understand how anyone can do that for fun. But when I'm doing 3-4 hours every day, 100K bike rides, all I'm thinking is, right, this is gonna help the running. That is always the goal I've tried to keep in the back of my head this whole time. Now there's one essential mission before I bid farewell to this beauty of a place. So I've been told I can't leave Korea without trying these specialty noodles. These are actually cold noodles. In fact, they're swimming in ice. Actually, it's funny, out of all the foods out here in Asia, like in Japan, Korea, my least favorite is probably noodles. I'd always go for something rice-based instead of it. But people keep telling me, right, I've got to try these ones. Oh, I've got the beachside view right there. My frozen noodles here. Right, let's give them a go. It does look quite refreshing. I think my biggest problem with noodles usually is the broth's too hot and too spicy. But this might be the answer. Whoa, look at that. Nearly had a fatality there with the noodles. I thought there could be a death on camera there, but the flavour was pretty good actually. Tell you what, it's not really salty at all. Got a bit of spice with the kimchi. Looks like maybe some other sort of pickled veg in there. I like that a lot actually. I thought it would be a bit weird with the actual floating ice, but I think it adds to the overall vibe of this dish. I think this is a surprising hit. Let's give another go at the noodles. Try not to choke to death on them. You see how long it is? It just, I don't know if this is just one massive long noodle, but I haven't quite got the technique down. Flavour-wise though, yeah, I'm actually a really big fan of this. This might be my underrated dark horse hit of Korea. Scran to Busan, score of 7.2. And for a noodle dish, that is serious. That's serious top levels. So feeling refreshed and like an actual runner again, this trip has been a success all round. And right now, my back's holding up okay. That's the main thing. I'm not in agony on every step now. So hopefully I can just build it up from here. Yes, there is an enormous fitness loss. Right now, that 3-hour marathon barrier seems like an impenetrable force. Oh, it's gonna be a proper challenge to get back under that. But it's all part of the Ran to Japan journey. So you can follow along here as the comeback commences. But I hope you enjoyed this video and this whole Disappear to Korea series. But I'll see you back in Japan for the next one. This has been Jake with Ran to Japan. Remember, train harder, not smarter. Let's have it.